Well folks, welcome to the video where we're going to make a CAD-free box sketch. Your box sketch is going to look something like this. So if you look at this is like a version of the technical drawing, if you like, and it has all the measurements on it. And I will take a still shot of this, and you can freeze the video and inspect it for all the measurements if you want to have a look at it. So we're going to start with some sheet silver here, and if we look at the diagram, we are going to make this piece here first, which essentially are the sidewalls of the main catch body. So if I just switch over to the other diagram, which is the rather crude drawing that we had, that would be this piece here, including that and that. So what we have here is sheet silver, and it is 0.4 millimeters thick. Okay, so one of the things you notice that I don't do in my videos is have the cheesy music that you see in some videos. So it's important to get this flat before you start, otherwise your final structure will not be flat, and that will cause you a problem. And hold it onto the surface so that you can't see the light through it and you know it's straight. So these are marked off 12, 12, 12, 6 and 6. That is because if you look at the drawing at the beginning of the program, it is going to be 12 square for the main body. Okay, the next process is to fold, and we're going to start in the middle. So you can see what we've done there, beginning to form a square. So, should look like that. So it's worth trying to get the piece as straight as you can and as square as you can. And as you can see, we used a piece of silver that was just slightly over. I think if you add the 3 12s together you get 48. I think we used about 52, something like that. If we look at our diagram, see just here, we need to form these pieces. So that's it marked off there. And I've left them very long because I'm going to make the thing join together with solder while I get the first solder layer down. So what we're doing here is we're sawing the sides with a jeweler's saw, because that would have been too risky with the shears. Might get snipped off. And the other piece has just been cut with the shears. So we end up with this stage. Okay, so that is tacked together with solder. So one of the next processes is to just gently tap this on a flat steel block until you can't see light coming underneath it, and that gives you an idea that it's reasonably straight. However, these rims are not necessarily flat. Take the flattest file that you've got and you need to draw it carefully across the surface. Now, this is one of the primary uses of a rubber block, is that if you pressure the file down lightly, it actually stops the piece from moving around. So if you hold your file very flat, you should take most of the roughness off the surface. This brightens the surface prior to soldering. So that's the pieces cut, and as you can see there's a little ledge either side just here to allow the solder to go on. Obviously we're making two catches here. So as you can see, the process of making jewellery generally is quite a delicate one. It requires quite a good hand-to-eye coordination, and it's important when you solder these, with hard solder particularly, to keep them inside the flame, because the soldered paste doesn't work very well if you don't. Now that we're soldered, we need to remove the excess solder ledge that we put on the sides. This ledge here, this gives you the ability to line up the front of the catch with this, and then if it's not quite perfectly square, which doesn't really matter that much, you've got a little bit of leeway, and it gives the solder an area where you can have capillary action to bond to the base sheet, whereas if you just had a straight flat edge, it would be difficult to line it up perfectly without knocking it. Also, it doesn't always take the solder that well, a straight edge, so that's the reason why, and it's a good practice to do that. So in order to remove this, we are going to use a side shear technique. So you basically line up your shears with the side like that, and then cut. Now to do this, you do need to have very sharp case hardened shears. There is no point in trying to use these. They're made of mild steel, they're not case hardened, and they're not particularly sharp either, so they're pretty crude, and if you try to use these, what will happen is your body will get distorted and it'll be a disaster. You'll have to flatten it out again and muck about with it, which is not good. So use proper sharp case hardened shears. Okay, flatten off the top surface here with a file, pretty much in the same way as we did before. And when it's done, you should have a bright surface all round. It needs to be flat because you need to make contact with the top plate properly, but also you need to have clean metal so you can solder onto it. So shear the sides at the back and at the side, and then you've got your catch like so. Now is the opportunity to clean this piece and to make the slot in it. It'll be easier now before the top is on. So to take the slot out, cut here and cut here with a jeweler's saw, and then take the corners off with the pliers, which I'll show you. I hope you can see that. What we're going to do now is just file it to get rid of the rest of it. Now is also an opportunity to file these so that they're in nice shape. You solder the bases on in exactly the same way as you did the top. There's nothing new there to show, so I won't show that exact sequence. So shear the sides off as before, and now is the stage when filing is going to be beneficial. So I'm going to start with a fairly coarse stubs file, and I'm going to go around until I've got rid of all the ledges and the lines, and then I'll progressively move to a finer and finer file, and then we'll do a bit of sanding on it. So we're at this sort of stage with it now. We've got our slot cut there, all the little ledges have been taken off, smoothed off. Still does need a bit of sanding. Okay, so this is what our box catch looks like now. You can see the end of it there. So now we need to make the tongue. So we have these pieces here. If we measure the inside of this, just here, obviously it's 12 on the outside because we checked it with the calipers. Inside you've got 0.4 silver at the sides. 0.8 of 12 is going to leave you with 11.2. Kind of works out about 11 because there are irregularities in the metal. So we need to get these bits of silver to 11 wide. So this is how your silver is laid out. This is the 9 from here to here, which will fit inside the catch body, and at this end it will accommodate the fold a little bit. These pieces here are going to be removed, and this piece in the middle here is 4, millimeters, and that is so that it fits into this little slot here, which is 4 millimeters, because that has a total width of 12, and 12 divided by 3, as you know, is 4. You can't measure from the edges here because this piece has been made to be 11 to go inside here, so you have to measure from the center. So measure 2 mil either side of the center to get the 4. Okay, this forms our catch handle. Okay, this is a 2 millimeter drill bit. Okay, so when you pull that catch forwards, and it's best to see from the side view there, this piece here, there, has to be pulled right back past the rim. Otherwise the catch won't go in and lock properly. Alright, so you can see on the other one that I've done, where I've pulled it back past the rim so that the catch will lock properly. So you take your flat pliers and line them up, and then brute force to do that. Straighten up a little bit. The fold, this is 0.45 silver, is chosen to be a little bit thicker than the rest of the catch because it's just going to be a springy piece. It will curve, as you can see, and you need a nice sharp cut on it, and so we're going to move towards that. So this is a carpenter's scraper, and it's about 0.8 thick, which is probably a bit too thick actually. You could equally use a piece of brass that's about 0.5 or something like that. Just to get it over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bang with a hammer on the edge till it flattens. If you do it skillfully, it should come out exactly where the line is, but it may not, and that's one of the reasons why we've backed off to about 9 millimeter. So what I'm going to do next is just separate the end with this, which is a steel blade. And so once you've separated it, you've now got quite a springy piece. If we insert it into the end there, you can see just there where it isn't quite going in, and the solution to that is to give this little catch here a squeeze so that it pulls back a little bit. So once we've done that, you can hear it click, and it clicks home. If you look at the end on, you can see the ends disappeared inside it, and that is now fully caught. So that kind of is how you build your catch. These tabs here allow you to, you can either drill a hole to put jump rings in, or you can solder wire pieces on, however you want to do it. You can even solder a hinge on there if you want to make like a hinge type bracelet, and that effectively is how your catch works. And you can put safety catch on this too, although it is pretty robust. On a lighter weight bracelet this will never give. If you had a quite a hefty silver bracelet, you might want to put a safety catch on maybe, but you don't really need to. So this catch will now be heat treated in a kiln, which makes the silver springy. So here's a close-up. Makes it a bit easier to see what's going on. Push it home and it clicks and it won't come off, but if you push the lever down, it comes out. And that, folks, is how you make a box catch. Thanks so much for watching.